Hi, I'm Bridget.
Hi, Megan.
We're the Pumpkin Vlogs.
We're back for another vlog.
Yes, we are. Do you want to tell the idea since you made it up?
Sure. So basically what we're doing today is I'm taking 7 of my favorite books, and they're not the Harry Potter series. I couldn't do that because she knows what they are.
Because we're both obsessed with Harry Potter.
Yeah. But I'm taking 7 books that I love that she has not read currently. Maybe she'll want to after today. Who knows? But I'm basically going to show it to her, and she gets to look at the title and the cover and decide what could this book be about. And then we might do a part 2-ish thingy. She might also get a chance to read the description and then determine more details based on that.
Is that going to be in this video?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We'll see what happens. But she's definitely going to take a look at a book, at the title, at the cover, and say what she thinks the book is about and who the characters are and all that fun stuff.
Hey, babe.
Yes. Are you ready for your first book?
I am.
Wait, let me show everyone. This is her first book, and it is called The Abyss Surrounds Us by Emily Skretsky.
Well, there's a review on here. This is fresh and fascinating look at Wallace's future, so this has to be about a future of some kind.
That's fair.
I think it has to do with a woman.
Good call.
It has to do with a woman. There's a woman on the cover.
How old do you think she is? Give an age.
In her 20s.
Okay, what's her name?
Abyss.
Am
I
sure,
right?
we'll go with that. No.
Serena.
Okay, we'll call her Serena.
Okay, anyways.
What is Serena doing?
Stop! I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
So this is Serena. She goes into the future. She's in her mid-20s. A woman that can see future things happen, and it could be not violence, but it's harmful towards the earth. For right now to lead up to this. So my best guess is that she goes into the future to try to stop it. And there's some kind of monster here because
Good call. There's a giant
so then what ends up happening is she doesn't get stuck in a castle with the monster.
Okay, look.
This is not a Disney movie.
Yes.
Then what ends up happening is she can't save the future.
Okay.
So it kind of turns into a 2012 movie.
Ooh.
If that makes sense.
So here's another question. Do you think this is a part of a series, or do you think this is a standalone book?
It's definitely part of a series.
Good call. You're correct.
Okay, so now you can
series.
Now you can tell me about all
Would you like me to read to you the back cover?
No.
Okay. So this is not Serena. This is Cass.
Okay.
This is Cass, and she was known as a reckoner trainer.
Okay.
So basically she lives on the land on this little island, and she trains basically sea monsters.
Okay.
So one day she gets kidnapped by pirates because they want her to train their sea monster to because the sea monsters are trained to go after pirate ships and stop the pirates. So pirates kidnap Cass and have them try and train their reckoner, which are the sea monsters, in order to go after the other sea monsters. And that's kind of the plot. This is called Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. Here's the cover.
Yeah, you can see it. Yep. So my first guess is this is something about a treasure chest.
So who do you think are the main characters of this story?
I kind of feel like there has to be something about a desert that's deserted.
Okay.
No pun intended. And underneath all this stuff, there is buried treasure everywhere.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
And then they
what's
find,
the plot of the story? Who's the main character?
I think whoever the main characters are, they're looking for a piece of something.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can find a key to wherever they're going. Who do I think is the main character? Well,
Or characters. Who knows? There might be more than one.
I think there's 3 of them.
Interesting.
2 boys and a girl.
Very interesting.
I don't know their names. I don't want to guess them.
No, you should guess names. I like when you give them names. It's funny.
One guy is definitely named after... is Brad Pitt or something.
Brad Pitt, the main character. Alright, Brad.
Brad, there's a Bob.
Brad, Bob, and what's...
and Billy.
Alright, Brad, but I thought you said it was 2 boys and a girl.
Billy can be a girl name.
Oh yeah, that is true. Okay, there.
That's all I got from that.
Alright. Oh, and is this a series or a standalone?
Definitely a standalone.
Nope, you're wrong.
What?
This is a part of a series. This is technically the second book in the series, but...
Is that the book that you accidentally bought?
No, but it is by the same author that I bought the second book in the series. The book is called The Girl in the Green Silk Gown, and it's also by Sean Maguire, and I didn't realize... I bought it without really, like, thinking and looking at it, and then I realized it's the second book in the series. But no, I have all of the books in the series so far. There's 4 of them so far. I will give you, it's kind of like each book could be kind of read on their own, especially like the second and the fourth in the series. General series overview. The series kind of follows, there's different main characters of each book, sort of. Because the first book, what the series is about is children that go through doorways and then they end up coming back to our world and them kind of having to cope with like not being in these like magical great worlds. So the first book follows our main character Nancy as she's going to the school where her parents send her because they think she's basically crazy because she's like, Mom, Dad, you know how I was missing for a couple of months? I was in this magical world for several years. They're like, no, you weren't. And so they send her to the school that's supposed to, like, help her, like, realize reality, but really it's there to help, like, these children, like, cope with the fact that they're back in the world. And if they turn 18, they'll never be able to get back to these worlds. So they're, like, most of them are, like, 16, 17 in that first book.
Are you gonna get writing a book idea from all the ideas I tell you?
Maybe. I could. So this is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
V.E. Schwab. Okay. V.E. Schwab. Based upon the fact that there's 2 circles on here and someone jumping from one thing to the other, I want to say that this person lives in a world of magic. However, they found a darker place to do that magic.
Oh, interesting.
Like a you can do darker things there. It's kind of like not the difference in the person, it's more of the difference in the world. So like you have a choice where you can be in a good world or like a slightly not as good world.
What were you gonna name this woman character?
Jazz.
Alright, so your plot actually wasn't terribly far off. So this is not a woman, this is a man, his name is Kel.
Okay.
So, this takes place in a world where there are 4 parallel Londons. It takes place in the 1800s. So there's Grey London, which is kind of our regular non-magical London. There's red and white and black. And Black London is kind of that dark London you were talking about. It's destroyed. It was taken over by magic. People didn't use it in the right way, so it's kind of like vacant. No one's there.
I got it right.
So it follows Kel, who is what is known as
a meme. That's definitely gonna be the meme once people start watching this. Okay, we're not gonna make squeaky noises. Nope.
Okay, so Kel is what's known as an Antari. He's one of the last Antari, which means he can travel in between the Londons. So his job, he basically was adopted by the king of one of the Londons, and his job is to travel between the Londons and deliver the messages between the rulers and stuff like this. Until one day, he discovers something he shouldn't discover, and it sets him off on a very large adventure. Next book. Our next book is called We Are the Ants, and it's by Sean David Hutchinson. And I picked this because I think it's going to be really funny what she comes up with, because you can't really tell anything from the cover. Or the title.
I have 2 options for this book.
Okay.
Option number 1, there was a show on Disney Channel called The Ant Farm, and it means of advanced talent.
Okay.
So my first thought when I saw We Are the Ants was to say we are the people that can like do extraordinary things.
Interesting.
That was my first thought when I saw this, and because of the way it has like the lines like that, it's like not futuristic, but it's like we're very extraordinary. Like we have powers. We can do certain things that other people can't.
Mm-hmm.
My second thing is that it's about ants. It's about ants.
I want to hear this great idea all about ants. That's 451
Okay, wait,
pages long.
wait.
Okay, tell me all about these ants.
So you know the Ants movie? How like they
Yeah.
all kind of like take over
Yeah.
and like do good. That's how I kind of feel this book is. But it's also like humans knowing what the ants are gonna do, so then they come along and they work together. It's probably closer to my first idea.
Closer to your first idea.
Go ahead.
It's about our main character. I can't remember. Henry. That's what his name is.
Ew, Henry!
It's been a while since
With
I've
an
read this.
exclamation point.
But Henry occasionally gets abducted by aliens.
Okay.
And one day they tell him that it's up to him whether he wants the world to end or not. This next book is called Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Here's the cover. Here's the cover.
Kind of think that this book is about like some kind of apocalypse happened. And there's this group of people, like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
That are in one part of this apocalypse where there's like no one else alive, and then there's like this lone person who's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in her teenage years.
Okay.
And she's trying to see like if someone will hear her. And they're trying to get the radio frequencies to match, but they haven't been able to. But eventually they are able to. And eventually they're able to be part of a different humanity where they're able to build a whole new world after. But that's my best guess based on this.
Fair.
But for a very long time, she didn't hear any feedback. So she's been surviving on her own. But everyone else is dead. Besides these few people.
Cool.
Would you like a name for all
Yes,
these people?
I would.
The girl is called Shelley.
Okay.
The other 3 people cannot be named because I say so.
Okay. So, Shelley's name is actually Frances.
Okay.
And one of your other unnamed people, there's several characters, but our main 2 are Frances and Aled. We're gonna call him Aled.
Okay.
I don't quite know how to pronounce it for sure. But no, that's not the premise. It's about this girl who is graduating high school, and she's been a huge fan of this podcast for a really long time.
About this.
I did. And she creates fan art for this podcast all the time, and then she's contacted by the creator, and he's like, hey, you should create art for my podcast. And she's like, yes, and then she discovers that the creator of this is another kid that she's friends with that lives across the street, and it's about the friendship that develops between them and all sorts of other things.
Okay.
So our next book is Vicious by V.E. Schwab.
I think it's about a guy
Good call.
who is on
What's his name? If I stare close enough, his
What
name
kind
will
of
just come
names
to
do
me.
you have? Hank
Okay.
is like a assassin. That's it.
What does Hank do?
That's like a complete description in 3 words.
No, but like, what does Hank do as an assassin? Like, what's the plot of the story aside from like he assassinates a bunch of random people?
No, they're not random people. They're
Okay,
people in
cool.
a book that he got from his boss, which doesn't have a name because it's like Charlie's Angels. How like you never see Charlie and
Okay.
you don't know his name, but you just take orders from them.
Yeah. Just gets this list from his nameless boss.
He assassins all the bad guys. That's the whole description I'm given.
Okay. Meet your Hank. His name is actually Victor.
Okay, I was kind of close.
Sure. So this is Victor. And the plot of the story is that...
Victor from Vicious and Victor.
Yes.
Victor,
Victor and
Vicious Victor.
Yeah.
Vicious Victor, Vicious Victor, Vicious Victor. Okay.
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 So this takes place
Okay.
in a... This...
Okay. This. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
No, stop. I can't tell you anything. This takes place in a world where people gain abilities based off of a couple of things, but mainly a near-death experience.
Okay.
So, Victor and his roommate Eli, when they're in college, are super interested in the fact that people get powers with near-death experience, so they decide to try and get powers themselves, and it kind of follows what happens after college. It, like, fast-forwards a bunch of years in the future. And this is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wayne Jones.
My best guess is that this person, looks like a he with a hat, is able to move this castle with a wand and magic, and they go through life like they always have to like move because like they're not always welcome on certain lands. But then also what happens is the castle gets a mind of its own, and actually didn't get a mind of its own, but like on their journey they met people that like hypnotize it, so it's like bringing it to another person, and then he finally regained access back to like directing the castle.
What's his name?
Sufjan.
Sufjan. Okay.
Sufjan.
So on the cover, this actually isn't. There is a guy. His name is Howl. That's
Okay.
not Howl. That is another character named Sophie.
Sufjan, Sophie. Come on, that's pretty close.
That is pretty close, but she's a girl.
It's close though.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, Sophie ends up getting cursed by a witch to be old, and then she comes upon Howl and his moving castle, and they kind of end up working together. It's so hard to like describe books without getting like super spoilery.
This was a very fun experiment though.
Did you like it? Out of all the books, based on what you know about them, which one would you be most interested in?
One of these.
Ooh, those are like
So
my two favorites.
this one or that one.
Yay.
We're gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go edit it.
Yep.
Edit it.
What she said.
What I said. We are the Pumpkin Vlogs, and we
We'll see you soon.
will see you soon.